Wow, welcome to Ehiliz talk show program. Blessed be the name of our God. VividView.
See and do it.
Trying is courage put in action. Say something, somebody.
My name is Samuel Estienne. According to the teaser, trying is courage put in action. To try, effort has to come in first, because if we don't make attempts, we are failures already. So from effort comes consistency. We have to be consistent. It is in trying. The person who invented the bulb tried many times and failed. So it is consistency that brings about results. Thank you.
My name is Bukola. According to the teaser, it actually means to me that when you don't make an attempt, it is the beginning of failure. But when you make an attempt, even if you don't achieve it at the end of the day, at least you have that experience to change some certain things for you to gain mastery and achieve your goal. Thank you.
My name is Moses Mosu. In response to the teaser, trying is courage put in action. I will draw my take from the Bible, which says that faith without work is death. When you have faith in something, it only is visible or clear to you. But for you to actually make people to believe in whatever you think, then you have to put in the action, which is the work. Thank you.
I'm Zainab. Trying is courage put in action. My thought is making the first step to something is the beginning of great achievement. Thank you.
Mr. Champion, according to the teaser, trying is courage put in action. Courage to me is not the absence of fear. Courage to me is the mastery of fear. So when you have courage, it shows that you are halfway into achieving your dreams, into becoming reality. So we need to put in the effort to kill the fear that stops us from achieving our dreams. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the brilliant answers to that teaser. You know, trying is courage put in action. For me, it's not different. What I have in mind is not different from what you have said. But you need to dare something. You know, some people are always afraid to take a step, to make a move. They're always afraid. So once you dare, once you make up your mind to do something, courage is already there. It means you have courage. That's why you're able to try to do something. So keep doing that. Try and keep on with the courage. And you find out that you get your goal. Then for you to remain, I can't do it. I don't think I can do this. So you have not even tried at all. You're already accepting failures. We know we have some youths like that. They'll just conclude that no need, I won't even try at all. So trying, keep on trying. Dare something. Find it out, and you will get it. That is all I'm trying to encourage our youth today. Don't just fold your hands and say, For example, we know things are difficult in Nigeria, but don't just fold your hands. If you fold your hand, food will never be on your table. When I say trying and daring something, I don't mean the one that's against the law of the land, though. To go and carry gun to chase somebody, become armed robber or kidnapper. No, that's not what I mean. No. When I say try and do something, no, it's not what I mean. But those things that you know is justifiable even when any other ear hears it. How you arrive at your success, they will give you an applaud. That is what I'm saying. Don't keep quiet. Don't fold your hands. Keep trying and you will get there. Having said this, in today's discussion, women representation in governance is the topic for consideration. It is time for a break, and when we come back, our guest will be introduced. Please stay tuned. VividView.
Say and do it.
Welcome back. In case you are just joining us, the topic again is women representation in governance. And with me in the studio is the past immediate chairperson of Women Journalists in Lagos. Let's make welcome Hajia Sekinah Lawal.
VividView. Say and do it.
Go. Before discussion proper, follow us on social media handles are displayed on the screen. Hi, Joy, you're welcome again.
It's a pleasure being here.
You may we just have your introduction, definition, and perspective of the subject matter.
Women in leadership, as we all know, even as God Almighty has created women, we are special creation. Yes, because naturally God has made women to be able to multitask. not every creation has that ability. And that's to tell us that with this, even in leadership, in workplace, the role of women cannot be pushed aside. Because of the multitasking ability, whatever a man can do, a woman can even do better. We've seen many cases in this. In leadership, in politics, governance, office politics, workplace, corporate organizations, name it. When you put women in leadership position, you can be rest assured that, and that's why people always say, some people find it difficult to work with women because that they know that they always want the best. They always go out for the best. And that is why we say, because of this disciplined attitude, the consistency and that innate ability that must do it and must be successful at whatever I lay my hands upon, women goes out, all out, put in, and in terms of whatever we need to do in any leadership position, we have many examples abound, not only in this country, even outside the countries, and we have many women in leadership position, in economics, in politics, name it, that are doing so wonderfully well. And that is why this topic is not something we can brush aside, because when we look at it, we've not really gotten to where we should be.
Thank you so much for that brief definition and perspective of what we are going to discuss today. That takes me to the next question. So why is representation of women important in governance and key leadership positions?
Yeah, it is very, very important, because you will agree with me that when women are there, they will be able to speak for their folk. Yes, it's whoever wears the shoe that knows where it pinches. And considering the fact that when we look at our population, we are just looking at it, not only in Nigeria, the population consists usually, if not 50-50, women will take 60 in terms of our population and the rest go to the men. So we cannot afford to now say this quantum of human population should not be represented to actually speak up, to be able to harness whatever resources God has given them to use it. And it's not going to be for the benefit of women alone. Whenever women are in leadership position, because they are mothers, they are women, they nurture every other person. So they always bring that to bear in whatever position we occupy. And that's why it's going to be a win-win situation at the end of the day. It's going to benefit the home, it's going to benefit the society. Even our women folk, our men, they will benefit a great deal. And that is why when you see most of the scriptures, they tell you that if you train a woman, one woman, you have trained a whole nation. When we have that from the scriptures, we should know from which angle our Creator is talking to us. He knows how much He has deposited in women. When women are in leadership position, there is a way they treat issue. It might not be the way of the men, but there is this innate ability to resolve issue. That ability to resolve conflict in a manner that is, quite interesting. They bring in the humane side of it into all matter they deal into. And that is why, even as a society, we cannot push aside what 50% of the population has to contribute, and you will now say you don't want to hear their voice. It is not done. It's not only in politics, even in workplaces. When you have this, that is what we call the intergenerational angle to workplace ethics. Everybody is well represented. So you have all opinions well represented. Things are usually dealt with the way they should. It's quite unfortunate that in terms of governance and politics, we find ourselves in a patriarchal society where most of the time they will say women are this, they wouldn't want, the voice to be heard. But that has not all gone well for any society. Honestly speaking, though we are making progress in some areas, but we've not really had enough in terms of that women representation. We have quality, set of women with the right intellect, with the right education and whatever it takes to really make that meaningful impact. We cannot really afford not to let women take up position in every facet of our life, be it education, health, politics, in all areas of life, because their contribution can really, really be magnitude in terms of the achievement we are going to get at the end of the day.
Thank you so much. Just to add to what you have just said, be it government parastatal, be it public and private sectors, women in decision making, women are there. When a woman takes decision, because they are full of integrity, they don't so much involve themselves in corruption. You cannot bribe women so much because they call a spade most times. When we're talking here, we're generalizing. We're not saying that few ladies or women have not failed. Just as men too have been failing us, more men have been failing. You understand? So that's what it is. When you talk about women to handle some certain positions, they will really do it better. And that's why we're crying too, that let women lead Nigeria. Although some lady and some religion and some people feel that it's not proper for a woman to lead a man. But that is true. Perhaps what we are facing in Nigeria today, if a woman is given that opportunity to lead us, the difference will be very clear. And I know that the difference will be clear. So with the importance of women representation in governance, in offices and all that cannot really be overemphasized. We'll take a break now, we'll come back, we'll continue. VividView.
Say and do it.
Welcome back. We're still discussing women representation in governance. That takes me to another question, Madam Sim. Seriously, should women representation in governance or leadership be equal to the men? That's why the word seriously.
Yes, it should. I talked about when we look at our population. When you look at our population, definitely women's population is far more than that of men. And like I said, if we are not well represented, who will fight for our rights? We've seen, research has shown, like if you have a legislative house where you have 50% women and 50% men, there is this tendency, you will see most of those women representatives sponsoring bills that has to do with, stopping domestic violence, ensuring our girl child gets the right education. You will see some of these policies that will be coming from them. These are the policies that will impact meaningfully on, our girl child, on our children generally, the boys. You will see them, they will be looking at those things that will make the society a better place to be. If drug abuse has been affecting our girls or our males, you see them coming out to say, no, this must stop. Simply because they are mothers. They know where the heat is. And we cannot, nothing stops us from having that 50% representation.
Yes.
And that's why we've been clamoring in whatever avenue we have that education of our girl child is very, very key.
Yes,
when you catch them young, you let them know that, because if you don't have something, you cannot give it. So if you are to be out there representing, that is the excuse some people give that, okay, when you give women the chance. But no, we have, like I have been repeating, we have many women who can give us that quality representation when given the chance. It's only that the situation we found ourselves now does not really favor. When we talk of governance now and politics, They fix meeting for middle of the night when a girl child will not be safe to be there. They've already fixed, certain positions that these are for
purely men.
When you have a 10 executive, maybe you have one woman leader or even the youth leader might go to, So you already have those things that are mapped out, but the stereotypes cannot continue to remain the same. Nothing stops us from having that 50-50 representation in whatever position that is available, not only in politics, even in offices. If you have 20 PAMSEC, of course, 10, even more than 10 should go to women, because God in his infinite mercy has given us that ability, that multitasking ability. And when it comes to educational requirements too, we have it. So what stops us from having the 50-50 representatives? Nothing whatsoever except our own.
Because that's actually the question. Will you equate it? Will it be equal to that of men?
It can.
It's not out of place. Really, frankly speaking, it's not out of place. When you talk about intelligent, even female, more women or more ladies are more intelligent educationally, by qualification and many other things. But we know this syndrome is still there, or this mindset. I think the right word is mindset, that women are meant to be seen and not to be heard. It's still there. Those days we're even lucky now that the feminists are fighting it gradually, and the government people are also taking into cognizance. Before, you have a male and female that have the same qualification, they employ in the same office, they will now pay the male higher than the girl. It happened here in Nigeria. And you begin to wonder. They had the same qualification. If I even look at it well, BSc, the girl may even be 2-1, and the boy is 2-2. Yeah, they will pay him higher than the girl, just because he's a boy. But those things are coming and they're going down. Yes.
Correcting.
Those things are gradually dying up because of this. I won't call it a war, a fight, but it's just a reality. But our girls too are coming up too, because they were even trained to have that mindset that they cannot equate themselves with boys. Our mothers even start promoting it because of lack of understanding and knowledge. But now we're knowing that it's not only male now that matters. Of course, we the women are even the people that give birth to the men. It's so funny. And they said they will be ruling us, controlling us. Now we give birth to them. Now we carry them for more than 9 months plus. Although they will ask me who planted it, not them. Okay, so let's not go to them. You understand? So we are saying that it is important. Men or women can as well take the same role with men. What we are even looking out for is the outcome. Let us be able to impact people, not just who is there. Is he a man or a woman? We need great impartation in the life of people. That's what is more important to me. Then he says again, are there indications to prevent or isolate women from governance or key leadership roles?
There are many. That has been the issue. And we know that policies and laws have a lot to do with what we are talking now.
Yeah, that's true.
Funny enough, as a country, we've always been a signatory to most of these international treaties, policies, the CEDAW law, when there was Beijing conference, we are always signatory to it. But coming back home to execute this thing, to actually implement those policies is usually a problem. So we have these things on ground that have been like a barrier to some of these things. We mentioned the patriarchal nature that we have, even as a family. They want to give preference to the male child, in terms of education, that after all, you are going to end up in the kitchen or something. But thank God, like Madam said, some of these things are changing. But in some areas and in some communities,
they see head tenaciously to it.
Are still there.
As if,
and these are stereotypes. There is no. It's just in our minds. It's just the way we are formed up. It's not as if there is something that says, okay, as a woman, you cannot be an engineer or, already they've mapped out certain professions for men and they say certain ones. So those things are there. But as a society, we are the one that should continuously. We have to strategically, we have to intentionally keep on changing some of these old stereotypes and let our young ones, it's always good to catch them young, let them know that no,
that you are as important as a male child. As a female, you are as important.
Nobody
as a male child.
can push you aside. That whatever a male child can achieve, if you put your mind to it, if you really set out to, okay, whatever education is going to take, whatever skills I need to learn, I need to do all this to show and to really prove that this thing, I can always achieve it. So those barriers are there in terms of policies, in terms of, thinking, our norms, our cultural values. But some of these things we really need to change. We need to work at it. You wouldn't be surprised, even some of our young men, they already have some of these notions, and these are things we need to change. We really need to change. God Almighty that has created man and woman.
Men and female. That's what Bible says.
That there should be that collaboration. We need to work together to really make things work and achieve that society we all intend to do. Those laws are there. The treaties are there. It's only that, as we are saying, if we have more women in leadership, more women in our house of rep, as ministers, as commissioners, as PAMSEC, even they will be able to bring those things to forth. But in a situation where you have 300 senators and you have maybe only 5 or 6, less than 10, what are we talking about? Because at the end of the day, most of these issues,
majority
we have to
vote.
Put vote. So what do we have at the end of the day if we are to vote on a particular policy or bill? So
that is true. You are really spoken that. That is actually true. So majority carries the vote. By the time they say, even if you are 6, we have all the 6 women raised up their hands. The other men say, no, it's finished now. And the other, all are men. So that is it. But I think the awareness, as a matter of fact, is being created now that even to our government, they are now know that there's need for them to give chance, room for women to come into their governance and make contributions. Because indeed, women are one of the best managers. You can't take that away from women. They are good managers. Both at home, both in the office, anywhere, they are good managers. So you can't take that away from women. And so our young men learn too. Because sometimes you hear some of these young men say, the wife I married with my own money. He's talking when I talk. Who are you? For crying out loud, once you marry a woman, you become equal. I agree that women we must respect, because that's all we owe men, to respect them. But do not so treat your wife like a slave. That's not what God meant it to be. So you and your wife are the same. So if you know it's difficult for you to slap yourself when you make mistake, do not hit your wife when she makes mistake. Because you don't hit yourself when you make mistake. So it's important that we start incorporating this into the lives of our young ones. Because you know the reason why we have so much divorce. We're married to Doya. I don't want to digress, but then we have to mention that. When you now this mindset of superiority, I am the head of the home. When I talk this, So be careful so that you can live a good home. We'll take a break now. VividView.
Say and do it.
And now welcome back. We are still discussing women representation in governance. And this took me to the last question this way before we hand over to the audience. How then can women achieve greater feats in leadership, position, or governance?
Yeah, this has to, like I said, we need to be deliberate and strategic about it. As we are encouraging our girl child to ensure that they are properly educated, not just any education, they must ensure that they reach the peak of their career in whatever position they found themselves. They should ensure that at least if they are counting, let's say they want to know the best 5 in this particular setup, I must be among those 5. So when it's time for positioning, when it's time for selecting or whatever, they will not be left out.
Yeah.
So it has to be a deliberate effort. You know, I said it, if you don't have it, you can't give it. So if they're saying bring qualifications, all those qualifications must be there.
Yeah.
If there are skills to be acquired, those skills must be there. Then mentoring should be a great thing. Those who have had the opportunity, those who are up there, they should deliberately mentor those who are coming behind.
Yeah.
It is a must done.
Yes.
They will be able to guide them. Of course, there will be challenges. As a woman in leadership position, of course, the home front is there. There will always be all these throwbacks. So how did you manage? Were you able to, combine the two, and one is not lacking, So as those who are up there, should be ready to mentor the younger ones so that, there won't be vacuum. If they are moving out, those young ones are already ready to take up the position, So apart from that too, the agitation is a continuous one. The 35% affirmation is not yet achieved. Though we are saying we are getting better, but we are not yet there at all. And I'm not even in for that 35% thing. We should have the 50%. Nothing stops us from having the 50%. Because having the 50% will impact positively on our society at the long run. 50-50. So when we are pushing for this, because they won't give us a la carte, our men will not leave it for us as, just have it.